A group of Canadian astronomers working on the nearest unbiased cluster survey discovered the most distant globular clusters that have been observed to date by using the James Webb Space Telescope. The JWST might have just detected a 200-million-year-old structure. The first image of scientific quality that was obtained by NASA's newest satellite telescope revealed a hidden treasure in the shape of a dazzling galaxy in the far reaches of the cosmos that was surrounded by dense clusters that may contain some of the first stars in the universe. This discovery was made possible by the discovery of a hidden treasure in the form of a glittering galaxy in the far reaches of the cosmos. The James Webb Space Telescope has now made the first discovery of a structure that is over 200 million years old. It's likely that these clusters of millions of stars are what's left over from the universe's very first and very oldest stars. It would appear that the James Webb Satellite Telescope has found what might be the finding of 6 massive and extremely old galaxies. Astronomers have given these galaxies the name universe breakers because to the fact that the possibility exists that their presence may call into question the cosmological theories that are now in use. These artifacts originate from a period in time when the age of the universe was only 3% of what it is now. In addition, they are far larger than what was considered to be possible for galaxies so soon after the Great Bang due to the fact that the Big Bang occurred so recently. If what the researchers say they have discovered is correct, then it calls into question how scientists presently explain the birth of the earliest galaxies. These objects are far more enormous than anybody anticipated. According to Joel Leja, an assistant professor of astronomy and astrophysics at Penn State University, who was also a co-author on the research, Leja claimed that the findings of this paper support his claim. According to the researchers, they had anticipated that at this point in time, they would only find very young, newborn galaxies. But they were surprised to find galaxies that were just as developed as our own at what was previously thought to be the beginning of the universe. The results are based on the very first data set that was released to the public by the James Webb Satellite Telescope operated by NASA. This telescope is equipped with infrared sensing sensors that are able to detect light released by the universe's earliest stars and galaxies. These sensors are able to do this because infrared radiation is longer than visible light. Dr. Erica Nelson of the University of Colorado in Boulder, who was also a co-author on the article, was going through the photographs when she saw a sequence of fuzzy dots that had an abnormally strong brightness and an incredibly deep red hue. When analyzing celestial objects, astronomers use redness as a proxy for age as a result of how light is stretched out or redshifted as it travels through the expanding cosmos. These galaxies appeared to be roughly 13.5 billion years old, which would position them approximately 500 million to 700 million years after the Big Bang. If this is correct, then they were created around the same time. These galaxies do not meet the criteria to be considered the most ancient ones discovered by the James Webb Space Telescope, which was launched in December 2021. In the year prior, astronomers found 4 galaxies that had existed around 350 million years after the Big Bang, but were far smaller. The most recent galaxies are thought to have had anything from tens to hundreds of billions of sun-sized stars worth of mass, which places them on par with the Milky Way. This conclusion is based on many estimates. These galaxies should not have been able to develop, yet for some reason, they did. In order for scientists to be able to explain the presence of such gigantic galaxies close to the beginning of time, they would either need to reconsider some fundamental principles of cosmology or their understanding of how the very first galaxies were seeded from small clouds of stars and dust. Either way, scientists would need to rethink some fundamental laws of cosmology in order to be able to explain the formation of such enormous galaxies close to the beginning of time. According to Leja's assertions, the discovery that we made was so unforeseen that it truly presents challenges to the scientific community. It raises questions about the accepted theory on how the earliest galaxies came into existence. According to the currently accepted ideas, the universe went through a period known as the Dark Ages, following a period of rapid expansion. During this time, the cosmos cooled down to the point when gas could condense and collapse into the first stars and galaxies. This phase lasted several 100 million years. After this, there was another time when the universe was expanding at a very fast rate. An astrophysicist at the University of Nottingham named Dr. Emma Chapman, who was not involved in the most recent observations, stated that the discovery of such massive galaxies so soon after the Big Bang suggests that the dark ages may not have been as dark as we thought they were, and that the universe may have been awash with star formation much earlier than we thought. Dr. Chapman was not a part of the most recent observations. Dr. Chapman was not a member of the group that made the observations, thus he cannot comment on them. According to Chapman, further observations will be required in order to confirm the discovery and make it feasible to dismiss notions that have been held in the past. She followed by saying that with the rate that JWST has been overturning theories and revolutionizing whole fields, it wouldn't surprise me if it were true. The group is going to make an attempt to obtain spectrum photos, which will allow for more exact measures of distance and will increase the accuracy of estimates of mass. These benefits will be realized as a result of the group's efforts. Using a spectrum, we will be able to determine right away whether or not these objects are genuine. It is vital that the data received from the JWST be confirmed as correct before cosmologists rush to shift their fundamental approach to the study of the cosmos. This must be done before cosmologists rush to change their core methodology. It's likely that supermassive black holes are responsible for the bloated look of galaxies, since they warmed the gas at the galaxy's periphery, giving the impression that the galaxies are more expansive than they actually are. It's possible that the light that was discovered by the JWST didn't come from as far back in time as 13 billion years, which would mean that it may genuinely represent the ages of the galaxies when they were older. This would be a significant finding. As light travels through an ever-expanding cosmos, the wavelength of the light changes, but the frequency of the light stays the same. This change in wavelength is referred to as the redshift phenomena. Calculating the magnitude of the redshift allows scientists to establish the age of a star. However, this method can be influenced by dust and produce an inaccurate age estimate. What many of us in the scientific community had assumed to be a well-established truth until recently has been completely overturned by the finding that the formation of enormous galaxies began very early on in the history of the universe. The scientific community has informally referred to these things as universe breakers, and up to this time, the objects have lived up to the reputation that has been associated with them. Due to the fact that the galaxies are so enormous, they do not match the characteristics of early galaxies in the cosmos, as described by 99% of the theories. Due to the fact that this contradiction exists, scientists need to reconsider how galaxies were formed and how they evolved throughout time. The idea that has gained the greatest traction over the years suggests that galaxies originated as little clouds of stars and dust that progressively became larger over the course of time. For more thrilling content, be sure to subscribe and turn on post notification. They had just caught a glimpse of the very early universe for the very first time, and they had no idea what they were going to view when they did so. As it turned out, they uncovered something that was absolutely unanticipated, which may actually present some problems for the study being done in the scientific community. It raises questions about the accepted theory on how the earliest galaxies came into existence. After that, the researchers turned to spectroscopy in order to determine not only how far away the galaxy was, but also some of its physical and chemical qualities. The process by which the universe got reionized is a fundamental mystery in the field of astronomy, and the study of galaxies that existed at a time when the universe was much younger can bring astronomers one step closer to addressing this issue. According to Patrick Kelly, the senior author of the publication and an assistant professor in the University of Minnesota School of Physics and Astronomy, these first-of-their-kind views of the far galaxy are remarkable. This galaxy is far beyond the reach of all telescopes, save for the James Webb, and these observations of the faraway galaxy are a first of their type.